Do you dislike standing around a center console getting blasted with wind? Do you appreciate the utility of a center console, but are you also of the mindset where the occasional overnight could be of great value to you? Ladies and gents, this is the Jeanneau Leader 9.0 cc Series 2. The name's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept's a good one, and I'm going to show you why. So my name's Dan Jones, welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and we've been on this boat for half a day now and exploring it in the beautiful Florida coastline. We're in Haulover Inlet right now. Next video, for those of you who want to see how she drives, we will be going in and out of the inlet in some waves. This is an interesting concept. You can stay the night on this boat. You can have an enclosed or an open style head. It's got accommodation for the whole family. You've got so much usable space on deck. It could be a fishing boat if you want it to be, and it's an absolutely awesome social boat, and it's got a lot of capability, and it's quite no nonsense. So from a design perspective, I like what these guys are doing. Michael Peters, if that name rings a bell, was part of the design team. I know that's quite a famous name here in America. So come out the back and let's have a look at their power platform, and then we'll make our way forward. So it comes standard with a couple of 200 Yammies. We're running the 250s at the moment. We have option of a bow thruster and joystick, and with this setup, you can actually option it for the joystick to combine with the bow thruster. So that means the whole boat will decide when it's necessary for the bow thruster to activate, and you can side slip it into the dock. However, it's pretty easy as it is with a traditional thruster if you've got a little bit of training. These swim platforms, nice and extended, so you could actually step off the transom. It also makes it really easy boarding from a dock on the side, and they've got this super nice flexi teak decking. It's actually really, really nice on hot and cold weather. So if you want a consistent temperature under your feet, this is fantastic. Recommend it. It means you can just go barefoot all day long. So 2 fuel tanks on this boat, 1 on either side, wing tanks. We fill them up from here and here. Cleats both aft, and then just have a look here. We actually have, they're dotted all the way around the boat. This is a rod holder, but it's also fine for holding your beers. We've got quite a few of them because at the moment we are in social mode, and this is a really, really good setup, but I'm going to show you in a second because we can convert this cockpit into lounging seating mode should we wish. So on the port side, we've got the shore power inlet, same size cleats obviously. This seems like the logical place for chucking your rubbish. So obviously it's perfect for fins and other wet items, but because it's drained, but it's also a logical place to chuck and rubbish. This is your swim shower, because on the port side, we have a telescopic swim ladder which deploys off the back here. You can hold on to this handle, but this gives you a bit more leverage for getting back on the boat. Makes life a little bit easier. Waist out is on the port aft quarter because we do have a toilet with a holding tank, and the kid and doggy door is operated like so. You just push it down and then boom, boom, like so. It's a self-draining deck, and we have scuppers in the corner here and over there in that corner. You can see speakers. They're going to be dotted around the boat, and this, for those of you who don't know, is actually for attaching a safety harness if you're offshore. Good idea. Use it when you need to. When you're starting the day, you're going to start here. This is all your battery switch operation. It's all pretty logical. And below that, we have electric bilge pumps, but that's an emergency manual bilge pump operation for when you need it. I'm going to get under the floor later in the video, but the storage is actually quite practical on this one. We get access to our batteries, crank and house, and we got lots of leftover space for what we need. Before we do that, I want to finish the decks and show you downstairs, because downstairs is incredibly impressive. Considering it's a center console, sleeping a family of 4, it's a bit of a game changer. But This drop-down platform, as we're using it right now, completely changes this social space, because all of a sudden we've now got 1.5 meters worth of usable space. So people transiting it around the boat and lounging, which you're going to see in a second, you just pick the view as we have. But we've got a proper swim ladder deployable from this drop-down platform. So if you're not using the telescopic one, you can install this proper one, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stairs on it, so it's going to be much easier. And there's also a built-in grab handle. Yes, there's safety rails with some like spectral lines to install, and you would also attach those safety lines to here when you have that installed. I didn't put it in because I think it looks stupid, but it's up to you, obviously. So, table, good size, and now it's time to show you what's going on here, because this is super cool. So think about the height of these gunnels. So if you want to use this boat in fishing mode, we've got rocket launchers up here, so we can do rod holders in here, there, and then we've got 4 more up here. However, once you're in social mode, boom, this completely transforms the space, and it is awesome. So you can sit a bunch of people in here, and essentially that's your afternoon. So going back to my earlier point, so many of us have had fun days out on a mate's center console, but he's got the best seat in the house, and then maybe there's space for 1 or 2 people behind the helm. The rest of us are gathered around the center, hanging on for dear life and just hoping he doesn't drive too fast for us to make us uncomfortable. Whereas in this situation, you can just seat your guests. I don't really want to sit in the front if I'm bashing through waves. Fine, inshore like this, not a problem. But this gives people an option to feel safe. You've got good amount of height with the backrest, and see here, got this handle, and there's another one out back around the corner. So never at any time are you going to feel unsafe. So I like it from that perspective, but I love it from the social perspective. Now, all the Aussies watching, and probably those of you in Florida, yes, we can bathe this whole area with a sunshade. So there's some optional poles. We don't have it on this boat because we've got the rocket launchers, but we can erect the poles and some mesh shade back aft, and we can do the same concept up forward, so the whole boat can be in shade if we need. Now, next thing, this is actually an option, but it's pretty cool. I like this. If you take the standard option, it's basically a row of seats with like an esky below it, but this is the upgrade. So once you unlock this bar here, it goes up. It's quite light because it's on gas strut, so you don't actually have to put too much force to operate that. But look at this, full kitchen setup. We've got a live bait tank just in here for those of you who want to fish. A little bit of a sort of moderately deep storage on the center line. Isotherm fridge, not Verifrigo. And then we have a gas barbie. I think you guys call it propane in America. So I'm going to show you where the tank is for that. So that's sensible. Therefore, we don't need gensets or lithium to operate that. We can literally just run it with the gas. And then we have drink holders on either side for proper drinks with a cooler. There we go, lock that. Just remember to do that latch just there when you're closing it before you drive. It's a bit safer that way. Now, the T-top, plenty of shade, a good amount of width, so there's a good amount of overhang. So anyone at the helm is gonna be protected from rain or from sun. And this bar wrapping around is a good grab hold, but we've also got sensible grab holds here, and even this serves in a way as a grab hold. I told you I'd show you where the gas or propane is stored. It's just in there. I think you call it a 5-pound propane bottle. This is just storage or not storage, it's access to get in below the seat. So really, really good shade, heaps of head height. If you look under here, this is actually storage for your instrument covers. They're just designed to slot in there. You can put a few more items up and overhead. You've got speakers, some downlights just here, but the dash itself, sensibly laid out, dark colors up above and then gray below, so reflections are not too bad. We can put 2 flat screen multifunctional displays in the middle, and then these wings that actually comes out on a bit of an angle. So we've got the Yami engine diagnostics, and then we have a phone charging and holder, and then you can see Fusion speakers built in. That's the Fusion main head unit. But I would suggest you've also got enough real estate to put more phone holders or devices if you choose. So if you've got multiple people wanting to store or charge their phones, it would be possible. And we also have, depending on whether you option the boat with the joystick or not, because if you option it with the joystick, it's going to be in this location. Otherwise, you might be able to use this real estate for more phone holders, should you wish. Now, these throttles are lovely. The Yamis are really, really nice to drive, but you do now have an option, or you have a cruise control. So kind of like on the cars, you can set the speed and just tell it to cruise, say at 27, 25 miles an hour. And what it will actually do when you're cutting through a turn and it needs a little bit more power to maintain that speed, it will tell the engines to do that for you. So it's a proper cruise control. It works. You can check it out in the next video. I'm a fan. Bow thruster, sensible place. That allows me to dedicate one hand for the operation and the thruster and the other hand for the wheel. And don't laugh, this isn't for old blokes. I use this a lot myself. This is a really handy way to just get a fast turn on the wheels if you're doing some traditional driving. Very, very useful. I would still take it. The trim tabs are something you're going to use on this boat. If you're loading it up with lots of friends, they might want to sit in that comfortable corner, back, starboard, aft. Therefore, you may need to trim it down a little bit just to get the balance right. Sensible, I would expect that on any boat. This is our Yamaha dash here. That does give us a heading hold autopilot function in there. I like the little glove box, sensible size for keys. We've got our push button start safety here, but you can do dual engine start just with this button right here, and we can also drive the boat on single lever. It's quite ergonomic as well. If you're bashing through a couple of waves, you might want to just operate it on single lever, rest your palm there, and do throttle control with your hand like that, as opposed to holding it like that, where you might accidentally over throttle it a little bit in a couple of waves. Your windscreen wiper washers and function is on buttons, which is good because that's kind of what you want. You don't want to be finding that through a touch screen when you're bouncing through waves. Same as these other critical functions like your anchor operation and your bilge pumps. Also, all your lighting operation and other things like your pressure water are on dedicated buttons. I also like this glove box. It's actually pretty deep. It's like that deep. So you can chuck a lot of things in there and just have them accessible at the helm for when you need. So it's all pretty good. It's a sensible, functional design. In terms of raising this platform, this is another sensible design. It's just manual. So there's nothing to break and have to go and service at the dealer. That's Spectra line, so that's plenty strong. That'll lift a car. And then this is just a purchase line just here. And then you just snap it off like so. Boom, boom, release and snap. And then you just put the excess line just in here when it's stowed. Sensible, well done, I like that. And it's got some bolts, which are boom, boom, there and there. That's how we lock it in place when it's stowed. So coming forward on the midships port side, this is also just a sensible use of space. As you can see, we've thrown all our cleaning gear in here, but it's a sensible place just to throw things throughout the day, get them off the decks, keep the decks clean, and then over on starboard, you can actually stow some of your boat hooks, fishing related items just here. And then we've got fuel cutoffs, subwoofer, more speakers, windows into the accommodation for airflow. But before we get there, we've got to talk about the bow because it's awesome. So what we're doing with this hull design, we're carrying a fair amount of beam forward. So by doing that, we can flare out quite a bit and have a very large wraparound U-shaped seating area here, also facing that big seat slash sun lounge almost. You could probably lounge on that. So this is mega social, especially if you option it with the sunshade forward. It's going to be an all-day operation. Very, very nice. Underneath the center seat, just here, come and have a look at this. We've actually got an esky. It's super deep. I got a fender in there at the moment, but that's going to work probably for a case and a half of beers. If you fill that full of ice, I reckon you'll get loads in there should you need. And I think you would, because this is rated CE 11 people inshore, 8 offshore, but that's a lot of people if you want to do some day boating on a boat of this length. Now, also some good ideas. I actually haven't seen this design on a boat before, but it's a very simple solution. Lift, twist, drop, boom. See that? So now we've got like a comfortable forward-facing seat. Yes, it's less easy to move forward. That's why they've designed it to get out of the way. And in flat water, that works. That's really good. Comfy, like this, like that. And I love being able to just get rid of it, boom, boom, when I want to, and put the boat back in a more functional design. Because remember, if you just want to fish this boat, you can just rip all these covers off, all these cushions off, and throw them downstairs, because downstairs is massive. So you'll see that in a second. So gal chain going to road, and we can operate it from the helm, which we did today, but we have the option to do it from here. The bow roller, it extends sufficiently clear of the bow to not worry about the anchor swinging and connecting with the fiberglass. We've tested it today already. And this wide bow gives us the ability to board on and off Mediterranean style. So if you're going to be doing med mooring bow in with this grippy fiberglass here, I wouldn't step there because that could be dangerous if it's wet. I would step here and then step off onto the dock if you're doing that. Cleats forward. These are our navigation lights here and here. And both this table and the table back aft will remove and stow down below in the aft lazarette area, which I'm going to show you in a second. But look, drink holders, drink holders, drink holders, drink holders. Same thing down back the boat. It's like everyone can chuck a drink where they need it to be, and it's not going to fall over. So that's kind of handy. This has got the freshwater wash function, single wiper, it works. We can fold down the anchor light for getting under bridges. And I'm sure you could utilize this roof for storing a few toys. You just need to find a solution for tie downs. If that's important to you, I did just notice a charging point in the corner of that seat there. But essentially, with this beautiful big door and with the gas struts, it's easy. You have a handle there and there to operate it, pulling it back down. Don't do it when you're underway. The driver won't be happy with you because he or she can't see. You essentially come down these stairs and you go into a full stand-up headroom area. Now this space has many options. So depending on your budget and your mission, you can decide how you want to set up this area, because we're about to see you got 2 proper beds. Okay, it's for a little bit of overnight camping. It's not like super, super luxurious. It's just summer vibes. And this head area, you can option it as a fully enclosed head with doors that will concertina away, or you can make it into a private head and shower. As you can see, the head's just underneath here. It's got a holding tank. There's our operation. We have an area to throw basically some toiletries bags, and you have a sink. Natural air can vent from here and here, but just check this out. I'm gonna actually just put my sunnies down in the sink. Have a look at this. So you just lift this, and then you undo this little lock here. The stairs fold away like this, then you fold it over like this. You grab this cushion out back here, chuck it over, and now you've got a double bed. So this is fine. This is totally fine. I would suggest, I would like a half stop on that door so I can just crack it halfway open for ventilation and also for visibility for the driver if I was doing it underway. But you've got deep throw lockers, 3 of them on either side. Pass me the camera, I'll show you guys. I even like how, you can see I've chucked my thongs just in here, but they've got the material backing on the end just to give it a bit of a plush feeling. It's not overdone, it's just well done. So that, if you see these moldings in the fiberglass all the way down to the shower basin, if you optioned it with the enclosed shower head compartment, that's what you get. And it's full stand-up headroom. You've even got a little mirror in there, access behind the helm, a little throw place for bits and pieces here and here, and then back aft, another bed. So you don't need to option this with a bed back aft or even forward. You can just have it as an open space, but it's up to you. So just depending on what mission you want to apply to the boat, you can. This is just access into some of the switching, some of the fuses. You got a couple little throw hidey holes just in there. But behind this panel, it is technical access, but it's big enough to stow a couple of sailing overnight bags. So that's definitely possible. We've got speakers down here as well. And Wade, just let everyone have a look at this. I've even discovered there is optional air conditioning at the helm. So what you do, your wife just stands down here and she pops this off. I think I've seen this in like some Egyptian stories, and she just does this, and then that's going to waft air. So if you're fishing and you haven't got airflow, your wife just has to come down here and that's all she does, and you'll be really comfortable. I'm lying. It's just giving you extra storage. But tell your wife that's what it's for, and she'll love you. So it's actually an ingenious way to increase the storage at the helm, and then when it's not in use, we don't take up all that space. That's just, the boat hasn't been commissioned yet, so there you go. But this is fantastic. Then if I want to put it out of commission, I can also get access to my bow thruster and my bow thruster battery, which is just underneath this hatch just here. And then if I want to put the stairs back in place, I just put this latch back on here, and then this one here, make sure it's latched into place. There you go. And it's not going anywhere. Now I have secure opposing stairs. Boom, boom, boom. Up you go. And happy days. So just do be careful. There is some weight in this door. However, the gas struts do take that weight. I would want to be careful if I was opening it in a seaway. Oh, I'll get my sunnies before I close that, because I wouldn't want it to get out of balance and then close on someone's fingers, because it's a big heavy door and that could be dangerous. So just be careful when you're operating it. I see they have actually given you this little line here for securing it in the open position. So just be aware of that, because that'd ruin your day if it closed on your toes or your fingers. So one of the advantages of outboards, you get a storage space in this location. So it actually comes up with a couple of gas struts, sturdy, and therefore the door is light, but everything's accessible down here. So pass me that camera and I'll show you guys. We actually have the fuel tanks on either side, access for servicing above them. So that's what we're looking at, the starboard tank right now. This is the window washer wiper fluid. Underneath the floor on the center line is actually the house battery. The bow thruster battery is under the bed forward where we just saw, and the crank batteries are back aft in this location. Holding tank underneath this, I'm pretty sure that's holding. And then bilge access, boom, boom, underneath here. And then a tidy wiring loom, and therefore these are the safety lines just here on the forward bulkhead. But we therefore have usable, sensible storage in this location for long-term items and toys that you want to set up and forget, or also things like the tables. If you're not going to use them that day because you're in fishing mode, you'll probably just chuck them down here. But remember, you've also got the option to throw them in the accommodation forward. So I like this. So what do you reckon? Do you want to come for a drive with me in the next video? It's a beautiful day. We run Haulover, we take it offshore, we did a little bit of beach landing, and we do some anchoring to show you what your day is like. But who, in my opinion, is going to see the most value out of owning a 9.0 litre CC Series 2? That name is a bit of a handful. It's a bit of a European thing. So anyway, I think genuinely, if you have been used to the center console lifestyle and you want more lounging, you want more socializing, you want more this and less that, but maybe you still want the option to do a little bit of fishing, I think this is going to be a perfect match for you. I think if you do fancy the concept or the idea of the occasional overnight in a beautiful destination because it's summer, and why not, then this will work really, really well for you. But I also want you to consider that that storage space opens up a whole another level of possibilities for us, because we can rip all of these cushions off and we can stow them down there. We can keep this boat somewhere far away from home and just leave all our gear on the boat. We don't actually need to be carting our gear back and forth from wherever we live and where the boat lives. So from a logistical point of view, if you just want to have an easy life and go boating when you want to go boating, as opposed to need to plan so far in advance to go boating, this is a boat that will allow you to just go when you want to go. I hope that makes sense. So jump in the comments, let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you're in the market for one of these and what you would compare it with. I like to see that in the comments, and I'll try and jump on the competition if I get access to it. But basically click on the link coming up on the screen any minute and come for a drive with us and see if it's something that you can get your head around, because it's from a novice perspective to a experienced boater, this one could cover all of those bases. So I think it's a bit of a wide demographic. Let me know what you think. See you in the next one. Thanks guys, love you lots.